Morning. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a great morning. Got plans for a solid, sober, clean weekend. Um, what am I afraid of? Or what are you afraid of? I'd like to get some feedback on this one, just to find out what fears people have, what kind of things have kept them from achieving sobriety. When I was new and I came in, this is before I relapsed. Um, my fear was that life was going to be boring, that I wasn't going to have fucking fun anymore. I wouldn't be the life of the party, obviously. I wouldn't be as fun to be around. I wouldn't be as outgoing. Um, and those fears got me drunk because, I was sober 6 months and, you know, worrying about everything I was missing instead of worrying about my recovery, and then my old sponsor led at my home group and I went and got drunk. Um, and then when I truly surrendered, I got a taste of, what life will be like sober. I started listening to the guys at the meeting that were laughing and joking and having fun, you know, got over that. But, I had a lot of fears, still. I was afraid to face my past. Therefore, I was afraid of step 4 and 5. Um, I was afraid to look at the things that had happened to me, and I went to a lead from a guy that I actually led for a couple weeks before his lead, and listened to him give his story. And he shattered some of my fears because he was able to stand in front of a group of close to 100 people and bare his soul. And I asked him afterwards, how do you do that? How do you talk about being molested and shit like that? And he told me I have to. He said, that's the only way that I stay sober. That's the only way that I can survive this, and those fears were shattered at that point. And I started being honest and looking at my past and things that had happened. You know, I was just afraid to face reality. I was afraid to face life on life's terms, because what's it going to be like? I had, drank and used drugs for so long that, I didn't know any other way to live. And, today I don't have those fears. I have normal everyday fears. Everybody's afraid of getting the fucking corona, shit like that. Fear that something will happen, and cost me my job, but those fears don't control me anymore. I have a God of my understanding that helps me walk through day-to-day life, you know. But I'm just curious, about other people's stories. That shit keeps me sober, but it also helps me, something that you say may resonate with me and pop something in my head, that hey, excuse me, I got an amends to make, or I got to deal with this, or sometimes it triggers memories of the wreckage of my past. You know, all of you that are part of my group, are important to my sobriety, as well as any other people that I meet through recovery. So I would really like to hear what kind of fears maybe kept you out of the program or out of the rooms or active using. You can drop me an email at sarcasticandsober@gmail.com or send me a message through Messenger. Um, comment on the video, however you want to do it. But I really would love some feedback from people about what kind of fears they deal with, and what are some of the things that you do to deal with those fears. You know, Nowadays when I have a fear, I break it down. Is it something that I can control? Is it something that I can influence? And if it's not, then I give it away. I give it to God. God grant me the serenity. And, it usually passes pretty quickly. So, you know, I I'm really not afraid of anything. Uh, but fear is a great motivator, both good and bad. I mean, it motivated me to get drunk because I held on to fears. And, other people, some fears may motivate you to get clean and sober, the fear of jail, the fear of death, the fear of losing your family. So it'll be really interesting to me to hear from, people. Let me know what fears that you have and you've dealt with. You know, growing up, I have the youngest of six kids. My mom and dad had five bad kids and one, you know, pretty good one. Um, he's 2 years older than me, and my brother he pretty much tried to do the things to make my mom and dad happy. Was a good kid, didn't fuck around too much in school and do stupid shit like I did. Um, unfortunately, I got him started smoking cigarettes and got him high, and you know, ironically, I was a bad influence on my older brother. And I laugh about it now, but in all honesty, it really isn't funny. Um, it's actually tragic because tried to set him down the same path that I was going down. Um, and unfortunately, he still smokes. I don't know that he has the same problems that I do. That's not for me to say. That's his story. Um, but I do feel bad for the things that I influenced him in when we were younger. But all that was fear based. I was afraid that people wouldn't like me. I was afraid that I wouldn't fit in with groups, unless I did certain things. And I was afraid that if my brother didn't smoke and drank and do the things that I did in front of my friends, that they would think less of me. So I had fears as a child that caused me to do the things that I did. My fear of having to accept life on life terms made me, drink, made me drug because I didn't want to accept life for what it was, and I maybe pissed away some great things by doing that, but, I don't have regrets today. Um, you know, I'm blessed now because I was afraid when I got sober that I wouldn't know happiness, I wouldn't know joy, I wouldn't know love. And that couldn't have been further from the truth because, the love I have with my wife today is unlike anything I ever experienced ever, until that point. She showed me what real love is. I mean, she's 5 foot to fuck you up if you mess with her husband. She is my champion. She's always in my corner. She's always got my back. And she showed me what it's like to be truly loved. And for that, I'm ever grateful. But I did discover that you can have joy and happiness and love in sobriety, and it's 100 times better than anything you find at the bottom of a bottle or at the end of a needle. Uh, so yeah, hopefully, I get some feedback on this one on fears, and maybe we can open some lines of discussion. Uh, if other people in the private group want to post videos, that's awesome. I just like to hear from people and see what is it that you are afraid of or were afraid of. Hopefully you guys have a great weekend. I got a weekend off. It's been a long 12 days at work, but it is what it is. Love you all. Bye.